and the war had taken everything from Jacob Turner. His land, his peace, and the woman he loved most in this world. When the soldiers came back, the town bells rang for the heroes, but Jacob never heard his wife's name among the living. They said she died helping the wounded near the front lines, a nurse caught in crossfire. He buried her picture under the old oak behind the ranch, the same tree where they'd carved their initials when they were young. After that, Jacob stopped speaking much. He worked sunup to sundown, mending fences, driving cattle, fixing roofs that never seemed to stay whole. Every night he'd sit by the fire, a single cup of coffee and the sound of the wind through the canyons keeping him company. The neighbors pitied him, called him the ghost rancher. He didn't mind. The ghosts were all he had left. One spring morning, a knock came on the door. Jacob frowned. Hardly anyone visited the Turner ranch anymore. He opened it to find two little girls, mud-streaked, shivering, clothes torn from travel. One looked about 8, the other maybe 5. The older one held a folded piece of paper close to her chest. "Mister," she said softly, "are you Jacob Turner?" He nodded slowly. "I am." The younger girl stepped forward, clutching her sister's dress. "Mama said you'd help us." Jacob's heart jolted. "Your mama?" The older girl held out the letter. "She said to give you this if she couldn't come." His hands trembled as he took the paper, the edges worn, the ink smudged by rain and tears. The handwriting, he knew it before he even read it. "My dearest Jacob, if you're reading this, it means I didn't make it home in time. My name may have been lost to the war, but my heart never was. These are your daughters, Anna and Lily. I couldn't tell you before. I was carrying Anna when you left. Please keep them safe. They are everything good I ever had. Evelyn." Jacob's knees nearly gave out. He looked at the two girls, Evelyn's eyes staring back at him through time and grief. He fell to one knee, tears spilling before he could stop them. "Girls," he whispered, voice shaking, "your mother, she was the bravest soul I ever knew." The older one nodded, tears forming. "She said you were brave too." He pulled them close, and for the first time in years, the old cabin filled with the sound of family again. The days that followed were hard, but beautiful in a way Jacob hadn't known since before the war. He taught the girls how to ride the old mare, Daisy, and how to gather eggs from the hens without getting pecked. He built them a swing in the oak tree, right beside the place he'd buried their mother's picture. At night, when the prairie wind blew soft, he'd tell them stories about Evelyn, how she used to race him down the hill, how she'd laugh until she couldn't breathe, how she always believed the world was still good. The girls would fall asleep on the rug, heads resting on each other, the firelight dancing over their peaceful faces. Jacob would sit there watching them, whispering, "You did it, Evie, they're safe." Summer brought color back to the land. Jacob took the girls into town one morning to buy shoes and books. People stared, whispers followed him through the street. "Turner's got kids now. Looks just like his wife." But he didn't mind. He held their hands tight, proud of every stare. At the general store, the old postmaster, Mr. Howe, called him over. "Jacob, you might want to see this," he said, handing him an envelope covered in military stamps. It was addressed to Mrs. Evelyn Turner, care of Jacob Turner, Dry Creek Ranch. The date was nearly a year old. Jacob opened it slowly. Inside was a letter from a field doctor. "Sir, your wife, Nurse Evelyn Turner, was last seen alive after the attack on Ridge Point. She and 2 other women escaped with several children when the camp fell. We lost track of them near the mountains. There's a chance she survived longer than we thought." Jacob felt his heart hammering. "She might have lived," he whispered. But the postmaster shook his head. "That letter came late, son. Nobody's seen her since." Jacob folded the paper and looked out at the sunlit street. "Doesn't matter. She left me a reason to live. Months passed, the ranch began to change. Laughter replaced silence, and wildflowers grew where dust once lay thick. The girls called him Pa now, and every time they did, he felt something inside him heal. One evening, as the sky burned gold over the hills, a rider appeared at the gate. A woman thin but strong, wrapped in a faded blue coat. She rode slow, like someone afraid the world might vanish if she blinked. Jacob froze. The girls ran out to greet the stranger. "Ma'am, you need help?" Anna asked. The woman slid off her horse, her eyes full of disbelief. "Anna Lily," she breathed. The girls gasped, then ran forward crying out, "Mama!" Jacob's chest seized. The woman lifted her head, tears streaking the dirt from her cheeks. "Jacob," she whispered, voice breaking. "I tried to get home. Every road was gone, every train stopped running." He stepped forward slowly, as if afraid it was a dream. Then he pulled her into his arms. She was real, warm, alive, trembling against him. "I thought I lost you," he said, voice shaking. "You almost did," she murmured, smiling through tears. "But I promised myself I'd see you again, and I found our girls, they led me home." The girls hugged them both, laughing and crying all at once. Above them the sky opened wide, the storm clouds finally gone. That night the cabin glowed with life again. Evelyn sat by the fire, holding Jacob's hand while the girls slept nearby. He looked at her, at the scars on her arms, the strength in her eyes. "We've both changed," he said softly. She smiled, "Maybe, but not where it counts." He nodded, brushing her hair back. "The war over now, Evie, this is home." And for the first time in a decade, Jacob Turner believed it. The ranch no longer felt haunted. The ghosts were gone, replaced by laughter, the smell of stew, and two little girls who brought their father back from the dead. Out in the dark, the wind moved through the grass like a hymn, carrying the memory of a love that refused to die.